Well, hello. It has been quite some time since I've posted a video, and as a result, we have a lot to talk about today and a lot to catch up on, so let's just do it. First and foremost, we might as well talk about what released today, and that is the rework to the Demogorgon trial. I actually just ran it about 5 minutes ago, and what you're seeing on the screen now is my experience with it. I knew nothing of the new mechanics. I wouldn't say it's really super difficult. You kind of just have to pay attention and, take care of stuff, take care of I think they're called rifts now, portals, those things whenever they spawn. Tanks have to be able to tank swap. Well, they're supposed to, but I think you can kind of cheese that a little bit right now. Basically, the trial was made to be more challenging because it had become way too easy with how powerful people have gotten. According to one of the devs, Riddy, I think is how you say his username, he said that the trial was not pulling its weight in terms of salt levels, so it wasn't making the players salty enough. I definitely had to pay attention a lot more whenever I ran it, but I wouldn't say that it was out of this world difficult. It's definitely not anywhere close to the realm of Tower of the Mad Mage or Zariel's Challenge, Master version. There's also a new artifact set that you can get from running the new and improved Demogorgon, and it is mythic quality, neck, waist, and artifact. 3-piece set. And the set bonus allows you to increase your outgoing damage and also deal additional damage whenever you crit a lot. And the artifact itself makes enemies take more damage and get less healing too, which is cool. Also, it's mythic quality. I'm not sure if I mentioned that already like 10 seconds ago. I might have, but I think it's important to mention because we haven't had any mythic quality neck and waist pieces yet. I suppose it's only a matter of time until every single piece of gear we have can be mythic quality. I wish I knew what the reagents were to upgrade from legendary to mythic quality. Because it's only a matter of time also until we get like Mark of Potency rank 8 that is the mythic color and stuff. Anyways, that's just the first thing that we have to talk about today because the purpose of this video is to go over everything that's happened in the last month that is of noteworthiness, so we kind of have a lot to go through, so I should probably hurry up. But first, Past Me wants to tell you about something, so hold on a second. Well, hello! Sorry for the abrupt intro, but I thought it was fitting given the announcement I have for today. And that is, as you can probably guess by the shirt that I'm wearing, I am selling shirts again, except this time they're actually good. Well, that means that the last ones were bad, but I actually spent a decent amount of time designing this, even though it doesn't look like it. But I did, because I wanted it to be something that represented me while also being simple, kind of minimalistic, and not... I didn't want it to be like super obvious that this is a silvery shirt. If you know who I am and the things I say, you'll know that they're about me. But if you don't, it's just like some kind of quirky shirt that you can wear and not have people be like, oh, who's that? Because they're all high and mighty with their celebrity things. I don't know what I just said. They're not available in just white or black. They're available in a wide variety of colors, and there are t-shirts also. I don't have pictures of me modeling them because the sample that I have is pretty poopy. It was one of the first go-around of the design that I did, and as you can see, you probably can't see, you can barely tell that there's even text on here, front or back. And so I changed that. The text is white now on the darker colors, because I have a big brain. So there are two versions of the hoodie, the long sleeve and also the t-shirt, one with black text and one with white text. That way you can have whatever you want, or you can do the sexy black on black thing, which has apparently been cool lately, and I think it looks really cool anyway. Very subtle, but still very nice. Anyways, there's a wide variety of colors for the t-shirt. The long sleeve is more of the subtle colors like gray, white, black, which you wouldn't call those neutral colors. You'd call those like basic colors. And then the hoodie's got a couple of extra colors like red and navy blue and stuff. But as far as the t-shirt goes, I'm sure you'll find a color in there that you like because there's like 15 colors. Shipping is available for most parts of the world, so you don't have to worry about this being a US only type deal. You can, if you live in Australia, I mean, it might cost you a little bit more, but you can still get a shirt if you really want it that bad. I'm not doing a good job at selling my product. As of right now, this is going to be a limited time run of this stuff. I'm only planning on having this store open through Halloween, October 31st. It is open right now, though, so you have, like, what is this? The end of September. So you've got a little over a month to decide if you want to commit to buying a soft shirt or not. They are very soft, by the way. I've had some stuff, some merchandise from creators in the past who, it felt cheap almost, but I got this in the mail. I selected the premium options and it's so nice. I've slept in this hoodie a few times already and it definitely wins the seal of approval. Now I can also make the joke that I carry my script around on my shirt just to make sure I don't forget it. So that's nice. I can also be really savage if I want to. Like, I don't think I can do it. This camera is low, but like, if I was really mad at you, I could just like do a really savage turn around and on the back it says, okay, bye. So yeah, you can just be really savage. Okay, well that is just fantastic. I'm assuming, past me, that I can access these new shirts by clicking a link in the description, right? Okay, cool, just checking, thank you. Yeah, past me said yes, you do have to go to the description to find the link. Just thought I would let you know. Okay, moving on. Another thing that went live recently is that there are now 13 new deities that you can pick from. 13 new gods and goddesses, and one of them is a unicorn. As far as Neverwinter goes, a lot of people are now in a religious turmoil and cannot decide which god they would like to worship. I am saying god and goddess here because pronouncing deity is really hard for me, and I have to focus a lot, and then I forget what I'm saying. So just bear with me and pretend I'm saying deity every time you hear me say god. Okay, thanks. You can now also change the god that you worship with Astro Diamonds. It costs 60k to change, so it's relatively cheap. You can get that in one day, just doing a random queue or two if you wanted. But as far as actual items or progression goes, nothing has really changed in that regard because the gods themselves are more for role players or actual D&D fans than, you know, people who are playing the game to progress and, you know, get stronger and get items and all that. Next up on the newsreel is that as of February 15th of next year, 2022, Star Trek Online and Neverwinter are no longer going to be supporting Windows 7. So if you are still on Windows 7, you won't be able to play the game anymore starting earlier next year, which is a bit unfortunate, but if you think about it, Windows 7 is actually really old. It doesn't feel old to me because I used Windows 7 a lot, but it's actually pretty old. So you need to have at least Windows 8 or Windows 10 in order to play. There's also going to be increased graphics requirements as well because you'll need to have Direct3D feature level 11 or higher, which probably doesn't mean anything to the majority of you, and it doesn't really mean anything to me either. But certain graphics cards only support Direct3D lower levels, from my understanding, so you do need to have a certain tier of graphics card in order to play the game, and the blog post that I will link in the description gives some examples of some baseline graphics cards that will work, and then anything higher than that or more recent than that will work as well. Okay, brief interruption to talk about something extremely important to me, but very unimportant in general, and that is that in the mail, it now has a year at the end if your mail is older than a year old, which is glorious because I hated having to count the number of Julys I saw to figure out how long ago someone sent me something. This really only is a problem if you have a problem with your mail hoarding or keeping stuff in your mailbox or messages to reference, and also if you've been playing for multiple years. But having a year in the date column is something I've been advocating for a few years now. I think I've put it in every single video of mine where I talk about things that I would like to see in the game for the upcoming year. Okay, back to things that are actually kind of important. If you are a wizard, you might have known that a while back there was a thread on the forums where you could suggest changes to certain wizard powers that you thought would be good. And some of those changes to Wizard have been made live. I'm not going to go over all of them because I don't feel that I possess enough knowledge about Wizard to be able to talk about the impact of these changes and whether or not they're going to be good or not, so I'll just list a few and then you can go read the rest for yourself, or read them all because I'm probably putting them on the screen right now. The imprisonment power has been changed completely. It's now called Arcane Conduit, and it doesn't hold the target anymore. It just deals damage and increases arcane damage by 15% for 5 seconds. And then it, of course, does a little bit more than that in the mastery slot. And Smolder's magnitude has been increased by 100%, so it has doubled. And the last one that I'll mention is Steal Time has been changed to cast more quickly and do some other different things. A lot of people had complained about that power in the past. You know, personally, I never really had any problems with it whenever I would use it. It's one of my favorite powers because I love the animation of it and the noise is cool. But that doesn't really mean anything when it comes to actual performance, so I'll just leave it at that. There have been a bunch of changes to a few older dungeons to fix some problems with them and make them more approachable and nicer to actually run. And the dungeons that have been changed are Cragmire Crypts, the Grey Wolf Den, Temple of Spider, and then there's also been a change to Infernal Citadel, which I don't know if I would call an older dungeon, but most of those are older dungeons. In Cragmire Crypts, the two main changes are at the final boss. Actually, the only two changes noted are for the final boss, Traven Blackdagger. And whenever he throws his bombs, he's going to actually face the person that he's throwing his bomb at, which makes the mechanic make a lot more sense. Of course, if you are a high-level player, you probably don't even know the mechanics to these dungeons anyway, because you just burst through them all the time. But it was really confusing just having everyone dodge when everyone's a low level. Nobody knew where the bomb was going, and it would kill you if it hit you. So it makes a lot of sense to be able to see where he's actually throwing the bomb. And also, the ads in that fight are gonna actually walk through the fire. They're not afraid of catching themselves on fire anymore. So basically, they're just becoming further away from human, because a normal person would never walk through the fire. In the Grey Wolf Den, the wolf pack mates will deal a little bit less damage with one of their attacks, because they were kind of hitting for a lot, and it kind of hurt. And in the Infernal Citadel, the Pit Fiend boss, which is the second boss, now deals less damage overall, so it should be a little bit easier to complete. Same thing with Spell Plague Caverns. Some of the damage that the enemies were dealing has been toned down a little bit should also make that a little bit easier to complete as well. In Temple of the Spider, the final boss, you may have noticed, if you pay attention or care, that some of the mechanics there were not working at all. And that would be the red giant spider and the blue giant spider. The blue one worked sometimes, but now it should work more consistently, and the red one wasn't working at all, so now it actually does something. And she also has less hit points too, to account for the fact that the mechanics will now actually be functioning. Okay, calling all fellow bards, if you ever wanted mirage weapons, or mirage weapons, depending on how you feel like pronouncing it today, you can now actually get them, because you can get any weapon you want from the Cloaked Ascendancy campaign. Previously they just didn't exist, but now they do. Something that has made some people salty lately is that the Air Archon was supposedly shadow nerfed, when in reality it just missed the patch notes, and as far as I know it has been added, or there was an additional post made about it. But basically it was doing its AoE damage as single target, or no, that's the other way around. It was doing single target damage as AoE, so it seemed very strong, and that was fixed, so I mean, it's technically not broken anymore, but now people are probably salty because it's weaker than before. There's also going to be future changes to other overperforming companions like Zuna, the Abyssal Chicken, Black Ice Prospector, and Cold Iron Warrior, so don't be surprised whenever they suddenly start doing less damage as well. Okay, so now it's time to talk about the actual big thing. There's a new campaign/milestone reward progress battle pass thing coming out in 3 days. Or 4 days. October 1st, however many days from now that is. And it is called Echoes of Prophecy. It's a new milestone-based campaign like the Redeemed Citadel was, but it's more time limited and has had some improvements made to it. The term being used for it is Battle Pass, and I kind of wish that Battle Pass wasn't what it was called and it had a more unique Neverwinter Dungeons and Dragons-y name. I don't have any examples, but Battle Pass just seems like something generic that you would find at a fighting game, and the name itself just feels out of place to me. But needless to say, the function is still the same. You do stuff to fill a bar, and you get rewards as you fill the bar. It's going to have 3 milestones that start on the 1st of each month, so October 1st, November 1st, and December 1st. The first milestone is called A Tear in the Weave, and you're only going to be able to access the first milestone and its rewards until November 1st or until April 30th of 2022 if you purchase the Premium Pass. Now, if you remember from the Redeem Citadel, you could purchase the Premium Pass. It wasn't called the Premium Pass, but all it did was allow you to make progress in the milestones after the milestones had ended, and regular plebeians couldn't access the rewards anymore. But you could because you bought the Premium. And then, of course, you get the Premium Track rewards as well for having the Premium Pass. For Redeem Citadel, you could make progress indefinitely after the milestones had ended, whereas for Echoes of Prophecy, you can only make progress through April 30th, even if you have purchased the Premium Pass. The Premium Pass is going to be 2,500 Zen, which I would like to say is less than what the Redeem Citadel one was. I want to say the Redeem Citadel one was 5,000, but I've been wrong before. There's also buyouts that you can do for each individual milestone if you don't want to do the Premium Pass, and the cost of those are reduced by how much progress you've already made within that milestone. And both the Premium Pass and the milestone buyouts are account-wide, so you only have to buy them once, and then all your characters can progress however they want. And there's no leaderboard, so no more grinding for days, like 20-hour sessions to get in the top 100 to get a specific reward. I definitely didn't do that. So there is a new artifact that is 1,000 item level, which is quite high because your typical artifacts right now are only 450 item level, so that's more than double what it was before. There is a new artifact set, which is another mythic neck and waist, and the set bonus for that one just gives you 3% combat advantage, just flat. And then the artifact gives your allies recharge speed and then also makes the enemies take more damage. There's also another mythic neck and waist set that's called the Jewel of the North set. Or sorry, Northern Jewels set, basically the same thing. And that one's set bonus is basically just for tanks. Because if you are a tank, you will generate 15% more threat, but if you're not a tank, you will generate 15% less threat. But I find that set mostly being used for tanks, especially because there's so much constitution in it. 6 constitution for the neck piece, and then another 3 constitution for the waist piece, so a total of 9 constitution from all that. And the artifact for that one also increases the damage taken by a single target. The reward that I am most excited for is the lion. It's called the Barded Lion. If you don't know, I have a lion collection on one of my characters, and I'm only missing 1 lion, and the only reason I'm missing it is because I'm too lazy to go get it. It's the one in Omu. But anyways, the Barded Lion is a mythic mount, and it looks like this, and it's got like shiny stuff. And you know, for me, when it comes to mounts, I'm really in love with the shiny, sparkly, over-the-top extra stuff that really just make you look really, really rich. I don't really know what that says about me. I'm not like that in real life, but in this game, I like to look rich. Anyways, another important thing to mention is that this Echoes of Prophecy is going to be live on all 3 platforms at the same time, which is the first time, I guess, other than the Demogorgon changes today, the first time that any bigger content release has happened at the same time on all 3 platforms, and I can only imagine what hell that was to organize and get certifications for and all that stuff. I should also mention that the way that you progress through each milestone is a little bit different than Redeem Citadel was. For Redeem Citadel, you had a few different options in order to get Zariel's favor, like you could do hunts, quests, and then you could also get it from just killing enemies or maps and stuff. But for Echoes of Prophecy, you earn the currency just from playing through the storyline, doing quests, doing random queues, and the weekly legacy quests as well. A few of the other rewards that you can get if you complete some of the milestones, these are not in any particular order, but there is a Legendary Mount Choice Pack, which is an account-wide legendary mount. You can get a companion called Corbin the Venerated, and his specialty is blasting his enemies with fireballs. I also like his companion power a lot. On paper anyways, I'm not sure if I would actually use it, but it gives you a 10% chance whenever you use encounter powers to increase your recharge speed by 7.5% for 10 seconds. There's also a Neverwinter Night companion who increases your outgoing damage just by a flat percentage, like the companion power is increase your outgoing damage by X% depending on the rank. So I think that one is definitely going to be more used than the recharge speed one, but I do think the recharge speed bonus is cool. There's also a new trinket that you can get. It's called the Neverwinter Hawk, and it's a strong single target attack, kind of like how the, oh no, what's it called? I want to say the painted owlbear figurine trinket was also a single target strong attack, but I don't remember if that's actually what it was called. But anyways, this hawk is also a single target trinket attack. I think I spent far too long talking about this and also the news in general. There's been a lot more changes that I didn't talk about today, but I really just wanted to touch on the most important stuff and kind of catch everybody up on what's been going on in the game, because I've been gone for about a month. Well, gone from YouTube for about a month. I've still, logged into the game and stuff. Thank you for watching or listening or whatever. I do just want to say that my little shirt commercial that I did, I don't expect anyone to buy a shirt. It's just there in case you want it. If you want to support me, I do make a little bit of money from each sale. But honestly, don't feel pressured to do it. It's completely optional, and I'm not going to think any less of you if you decide that you don't want to buy one. Just wanted to put that out there. Now that I'm thinking about it, my plan was to use the beginning of fall as a reason to get cozy and buy my shirt, but I'm pretty sure I didn't even say that in the commercial. Oh, whatever. Okay, bye.